So
I found out the value of wearing a mask today. So I was out and I was getting my oil changed and I'm wearing the mask and then I sneezed and it was the sneeze where you like lose control and I shot snot all on the inside of my mask.
Ooh.
And I was like, this is really beneficial for everyone. But the problem is now I had to sit there for the next 45 minutes with snot in my mask because I had nothing to like wipe it off of. So I took it. I did what like any dude would do, and I didn't want to wipe it on my shirt. So I used my socks. So I took my mask off and wiped it on my socks. And then I put it back on. Yeah, because I don't want like snot to be visible because it'll leave streaks. You don't want to wipe it on your shirt. So I did it on the next best, like you can't see on your socks. And then I put it back on and I was like, this is gross. Like have you seen
the pee, like the pee mask comparison thing? Where it's like if you're both standing naked and a dude pees on you, you get wet. But if the dude's wearing pants and he pees, only he get, or if you are wearing pants and he pees on you, then only your pants get wet. But if he pees his pants and you have pants on, he's the only one that gets peed in his pants.
Perfect.
I've seen that meme, but I think it's better you describing it.
Dude, I feel like that is a song.
And you guys never laughed at my pee-pee in the cookie thing. So thanks a lot.
I'm sorry, I was busy.
I enjoyed it. I did look. I smirked, but then I
forgot about me as per usual, like you guys always do.
I don't know that that's true. I mean, I think that we're a pretty good responsive chat thread of all the like kind of group chats. I don't know what other group chats you guys have.
I'm the least responsive in our group chat.
I'd say so.
You guys will have 7 messages to my 1.
That does happen. That does happen sometimes. You're kind of the one that we can't anticipate. What's up, Jennifer? Jennifer's here. Happy Tuesday.
It's like I see it, and then
so is Mr. Sharmer.
Oh, Sharmer's here. Tony, question right off the bat before we even started. Right. I got a bunch of you coffee this week and wanted to know you use to make coffee. A Mr. Coffee or something fancy like a Jura?
I use a Chemex pour over. And I grind my coffee every morning. It's a giant pain in the ass, but it makes great coffee. But I am looking at this. I kind of want it for Christmas because it looks really dope, and it has a Wi-Fi thing on it. It's called what the fuck is it called?
Sebastien will be on.
Oh, he will.
Yep, he just found a spot outside with Wi-Fi. He said there's a little background noise, though, but he said he will make it.
Dude, we will roll with whatever we can roll with.
Did you send him the link?
I did. It's in his email. Yeah.
But Joe, yeah, you can use a Mr. I would use like a regular drip coffee machine or a pour over, or get yourself a French press. The one I'm looking at now is called Cafe Distinct by Design. And
so it's like pour over, but like Wi-Fi enabled.
Yeah, it's like a pour over kind of combo, but I can like set it to do that in the morning, so I don't have to, because it takes extra time that I don't want to deal with. Because so what I've been doing lately, and it's such a dumb move, but it's such a guy move, is I'll save. I have today's coffee in a cup that I will heat up tomorrow morning while my coffee's being made, because I can't wait that long for the new coffee.
That's some desperation.
That's amazing. Right. So I have to like get down and light an American Spirit and have a coffee within like 5 minutes of my life, or it's over. So
it'll all end.
I have a cup of coffee to make my cup of coffee. If that makes any sense.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, listen, everybody's in for an interesting show tonight. We're not even sure what's going to happen, but it's 8:02, so let's kick it off, guys, and whatever happens next
happens.
And away we go.
1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 1 shot, 2 shots, 4 shots.
Hello and welcome back
Hello.
to Four Shots with myself, Tony Bellato, and Jeremy McDonald.
McDonald.
So we have an interesting show today. We originally were supposed to have Sebastien from Cavalier on the show. And then he's stuck in Honduras currently. And then as they do in Honduras, they had a blackout. So he is scrambling to find Wi-Fi, which I believe he has. So in that case, he will be on shortly. We also had a surprise guest, which can happen at any time. So we're not sure what's going to happen in the show, but we're kind of going for it. So let's do a shot to start this off. Go ahead.
Do you have your sweater on? Are you going to show that off?
Oh yeah, but it could be part of fresh shit. But I got my Tito's a sweater, just because it's snowing. So Tito's has a sweater.
So I got some new whiskey, and I was at Trader Joe's, and I never heard of this, and it was cheap. So I was like, I'm gonna see what it's like.
What is it?
Woodinville. I don't know. I never heard of it.
All right, I'll enjoy your.
Oh, but yeah.
So we have Sebastien. He has arrived.
All right, cool. We'll do a shot, and then we'll welcome.
While we're pouring our shots, if you guys could please share the show for us, it's helped us grow. We have really enjoyed doing the show with you guys, and we want to keep it going. In case you didn't know, this is kind of like a lifestyle-based show. We usually talk to cigar makers, beer makers, some people that are like ateliers, people that make things, craft things, or drink or smoke things. So we appreciate the likes and the shares. We're doing a contest currently that will randomly end today for some Youngstown Coffee Company coffee. So the people that are liking and sharing that are all entered in to win coffee. And we're actually going to change, Jeremy, I forgot to mention, I think we're going to change up the contest a little bit, but Brandon can confirm or deny that as we're having the show. So without further ado, let's do a shot and talk to Sebastien.
Shot number 1.
Cheers, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I got my brand new shot glass from my very good friend Jeremy. Per me a shot, and it's a cat that is flicking me off. So that is much appreciated. Thank you for my.
And I got a shot glass because, come on, coolest shot glass ever.
Well, your other shot glass had the Jack has a gun in it, doesn't it? The Jack one. Does that one have like a Satan inside of it?
Let's see. Look, it comes out, so you only have to clean the shot part, and it's just a case. They make them for all the bands, and honestly, I was going to go with Pantera, but Slayer has just, I mean, look at that logo. Yeah, I'm promoting, and I was like, I got to get this one. My first skateboard or one of my first skateboards had the Slayer logo on about.
Now I feel like a shot glass. Now I'll have it. So one of the questions on the test for my wine sommelier thing is my dad got wrong and I got right, and it's been an argument in my house forever. as to how to properly clean a wine glass. And the proper way is to just rinse it with hot water, because you don't want soap residue in your wine glass the next time you humble brag. I hate you, Brandon. But anyway, my dad thinks you should put the wine glasses in the dishwasher. I disagree. But I think you don't really need to wash a shot glass, because I think the alcohol pretty much kills everything in the shot glass.
I just rinse it out after the show, and then I just dry it and that's it.
Well, you change liquor. I just drink Tito's, so it never doesn't have Tito's in it. So I guess it never needs washed.
Yeah, it's true. So without further ado, let us introduce our friend, because we have Sebastien from Cavalier Cigars. He almost didn't make it, but he made it. And I'm really thankful, so that we don't have to wing it for the rest of the hour. And welcome to the show, Sebastien.
What's up,
Hey, everybody. No,
You made
good.
it.
Yeah, happy I actually made it. It was a little crazy. Well, first of all, I want to apologize for coming late in the second thing if the music is loud, because I had to find the last minute solution out of Dan Lee, because I literally went to the spot where I had planned to have good Wi-Fi and everything, and the electricity went off in the entire center of the town. So I was like, oh shit, need to find a solution quick.
You found a
Welcome to
solution.
Dan Lee.
Yeah. You know what? Then let's we have a shot together with you, my friend.
I like it. Talking shots, and that's a sick glass you have,
Right?
there. The
I mean,
Slayer one
look
is
at that,
fucking
dude.
awesome, and it's gorgeous. The Slayer is Slayer. I mean, something. It is
There's
what it is.
nothing out of rock and roll bands. I think Slayer and Guns N' Roses have the two best logos of any bands. AC/DC's classic, but I mean, as far as like the eagle with the swords making the pentagram, and then Guns N' Roses, they're iconic. The rock and roll, man.
To rock and roll.
I feel
Shot number 2.
It always makes me laugh when I see myself grab my crotch and jump into a pool.
why. What the question is? Why do you have any way to actually watch you doing it?
I know normally someone wouldn't on a weekly basis watch themselves do that, but because Brandon is so kind, and my friends sent footage of stuff, there's no hiding it. It's out there.
Better to get in front of it.
Right. Well,
Yeah, Tony. Anyways, Jeremy is never hiding anything, right? I'm actually very
Right.
surprised to see you with that many clothes on.
right.
Well, you can leave it like that. That's all good.
Well,
It's all
there
fine.
has been a lot of times on the show where shirts have come off. So expect that later. Maybe we'll see. Now that it's
After
been,
shot number how much?
yeah,
Number
it was
number.
after 14, I think, with
14?
our friend Juan Cancel. Yeah, that was a crazy,
Oh,
that was
boy.
a crazy evening.
That was an unmemorable evening. Get it?
For you.
Because the next day you don't remember anything. It was memorable, but all of those memorable nights are unmemorable, and I kind of like it that way, because then you live in the moment, and then the only way that you remember what happened is your friends filmed it and remind you, which happens too.
Sounds about right.
So, Sebastien, we have our first segment on the show is called Fresh Shit, and it's basically something cool that's happened to you this week. I have noticed a lot of news about Cavalier, so if you would like to bring that up, you're more than welcome to. But Brandon, go ahead and hit our Fresh Shit segment.
That is one big pile of shit.
I don't feel so good.
The mother rhino is giving birth.
Its wrapper is a piece of the original U.S. Constitution.
Coming out of me like lava.
At the rate you're carrying on, that's a small fortune going up in smoke.
Well, I like smoking.
Well, you're really doing it, aren't you? You're shitting in the street.
Welcome to our show.
Yeah, welcome to our
If
show.
you can play that again, that was really good.
Yeah.
Brandon, we need to put the bumpers up on the YouTube channel so people can watch them endlessly. So
No, yeah,
Sebastian,
you definitely have to.
yeah.
That was sick.
So Sebastian, what is your fresh shit for the week?
Well, for the week, for those that have not had a chance to see it yet, I think the fresh shit is probably right here. It's we just released the limited and everything, and for the year, right, the LE 2020. So everything is going a little crazy, which we're really excited about. It's really freaking late in the year to do that. Usually somewhere in summer, but hey, 2020 and COVID is beautiful, so that's what it is.
And what is? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Cigar?
Just don't say blend, because but
no, we're not the wrapper binder filler guys.
Yeah, it's we basically we don't. That's the only blend every year that we don't disclose at all.
Also, it's an annual release.
Yeah, it's an annual release every year.
That little barber pole.
I saw that on your page today, and I was like, that looks tasty.
Where is it? Here it is. The little number. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little rough too. There you go. So yeah, basically, it's a little fun project we have. Oh, the website. It's a little fun project we have. And you guys know that better than anybody else, right? You have all your core line and stuff and things that you do regularly, but you sometimes want to play a little bit around with tobacco. So every year we release the LE, and it's basically us playing around with whatever the new ideas we have, or the things we want to test, or what we want to see, happen in the progress of what we're doing or learning. So every year we try to push the thing a little further and play around.
So it's a returning annual release. It's an annual release, but the blends change or are modified.
Might be.
Maybe.
Looks like it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. Basically, it's mainly for us playing around. If you look at the different releases on the website, and you can find it half everywhere on any press you want to check. You're going to see differences between the cigars themselves, and it's really it's a playground for us every year. It's the fact of keeping the thing going, of the pleasure of playing around with tobacco. If you want to not just enter too much in that routine of letting things go. And I mean, we're all in there because we're a little crazy, but we're also all in there because we like tobacco, right? And that's our way of reminding ourselves that we like it, and that we just want to make sure to provide everybody with something really special every year. And usually the reason why we don't disclose is that we really try to find something really special.
Can you imagine, like we always go back to this reference of Love of the Leaf, and then what if I was a Coke dealer and I had my limited releases of special Coke, or hey guys, I got some premium, this is the holiday season cocaine for you. Then it's double the price, because I've been playing with different blends of Coke mixing and mashing with other types of narcotics
and laxatives
or maybe that would be so hilarious. If I was a drug dealer, I would do LEs in the drug industry.
Oh man, you'd be famous, and you'd be probably the best drug dealer out there. Oh,
I mean,
that'd be sick.
I feel like we're on to something, guys. I mean, I'm just kind of saying I'm feeling chemistry.
I'm not there already.
I like it.
I feel like I could, I've got a good grasp on the U.S. market. I know a lot of back alleys. I think that
and our business partners are Colombian and Panamanian. So,
right. I mean, I think, yeah, I think we're on to something. So what's your fresh shit, Tony?
My fresh shit is actually sort of Brandon's fresh shit. So I want to bring Brandon on here real quick to explain what is going on.
So Sebastian, I don't know if you saw our episode last week while you were in Honduras, and if you caught it or caught up on it, but at the beginning of our show last week, I decided to show Tony and Jeremy a viral video that had just come through my Twitter feed randomly. Somebody had retweeted it and said, you got to watch this. And all the description said was Wawa 2 a.m. And I didn't know what I was about to see. But what I beheld before me was the greatest sports commentary moment that I have ever seen in my life. It was a crazy fight between two gentlemen. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Sebastien, I want you to know a little bit of what we're going to bring on the creator of this video. His name is Darien Rollins, and we're going to bring him on. And before I do that, I just want to show you just a little taste of the piece of art that was created and shared with the world. Here we go.
No, it's going down. Go ahead. Oh, what we wildin'? Oh, they wildin'. His ass out. Motherfucker! I just want my sandwich. No. Go ahead. Get away. Yeah, Paul, move, bro. Move, Paul. Let them boys do. Let them boys do what they gotta do. Take him to the sky. Up top, chicken box.
So that is just a taste. But we have live on our show tonight the creator of the Up Top chicken box, Darien Rollins. Darien, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Dude, first of all, we got to take a shot for you because this you changed our life last week.
Oh, really?
No, man. This is a salute to you because that shit is the funniest. Well, we'll talk. I'm gonna take a shot and then we'll send you more your way, man.
We're gonna do a shot.
Cheers to
Darien Rollins.
Cheers. I should have had a drink myself.
Shot number 3.
Oh God,
man! We were talking about this before you came on today, and I was like, if we ever have to host something or there's some sort of an event, because without your commentary, it's two grotesquely large men just going at it. And and I was like, but the comedic, it's so good because your commentary, and I think you were just like having fun with it. I don't know. But man. Can you give us some background to the hilarity of this thing? Like what went down?
I mean, I just got in there. I was just on the road. Just came back from like a 2-hour drive from Fort Myers, and I'm hungry. So I come in. It's already looking a little odd in there, So I was just getting my sandwich. I didn't hear nothing going on. A lady came to me and said something about things being crazy that night, and I'm like, yeah, it's 2 in the morning. Like things get crazy all the time. So she's like, oh yeah, I got to get out of here. As soon as she said that, like I heard him scream like, yo, these guys are. I don't know if I can curse. Can I curse?
You can curse.
Oh yeah, you can curse.
Yeah, they like, yo, you guys are fucking retarded. After I heard that, I just heard like a punch, like something, like the punching noise. So I'm like, oh, I know what that sound is. So I ran over and I'm like, oh snap. So now I was like, there was like 2 people next to me. So I was like, I was asking them really before I started. Y'all like getting your cameras? I'm like, hold on. So that's when I'm chilling. I'm like, I started recording, and that's when y'all hear me going. And I was just, just normal commentary, just talking.
It's so good though, man. Like the comment.
It is amazing.
And like we're watching that fight, between those guys, and obviously one of them has his drawers like, to his knees, and like I'm amazed that you got all that video, and honestly, there's no dick in it. Like, because like it seems like there had to have been, like he had to have been exposed because, I mean, I don't know, but like,
yeah, man. I mean, I kept the camera at a good angle. I was just trying to keep it.
Well, did you see it, or was the belly too big?
If you want to be honest, I wasn't looking, but
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was
trying to forget it.
Yeah. Oh man, because at one point, the guy's hitting him in the backside and it looks like he's like just like flicking his dick, and because of the angle, and I'm just like, your imagination is just running wild. And not that I'm like fascinated with this guy's penis or nothing. I'm just like,
It sounds like you are, though.
What is going on?
Whenever someone says no offense, but that means they're about to offend somebody. So whenever you say I'm not obsessed with the guy's penis, you know what that means.
Well, now you got me blushing. No, no, but man, like it's just so funny. Like it's what is up top chicken box? Like, is that just something you say? Does that mean something?
Oh yeah. That's like me and my brother. We've always been fighting around, and up top chicken box is kind of like pick them up and drop them, like Yeah, so it's like that was the same thing. That was the same thing as take them to the sky. Take them to the sky is take them up and you drop them back down.
Man,
so you started a podcast. Brandon was telling me. Brandon was telling me you're working on starting a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. We're dropping our first episode this Friday. It's finished, cut. It's our very first episode.
And we find you at Roadrunners Pod.
Yeah, that's a page right there.
Would you ever think about having Jeremy and I as guests?
Listen, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Dude, we're gonna join in. I mean,
careful in what you're getting into. I mean, I'm just saying that. I'm just putting it out there. You do whatever you want with it, but
nah, man, it's all good.
No, they're great guys. Look crazy. Great guys. Look crazy.
So I have one last question for you, man. Like, how did it feel like when it started blowing up? Like, what was going on in like your brain? Like, because I've never talked to somebody who has had like a immensely viral thing happen. So I'm just curious to hear like your thoughts on like when you just watched it start like ticking up. Were you like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at first it didn't really like dawn on me or anything like that. It wasn't something that was like, oh, it's going viral. It was like, okay, I noticed a few people saw it, and after a few people, and it just started picking up. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, hold on, this thing might be like actually good. Like, I'm like, people might actually
it's really good.
It's funny. No, I didn't even know. I thought it was normal. So I'm just, recording it for the people on my Instagram. But it started to pick up so much that I'm like, hold on. I got to like about 10,000, and I'm like, I've never had none now. I'm barely even 1,000 likes on anything. So I'm like, whoa, like it started picking up, and I'm just like, hold on, it's not real. So my phone's vibrating all day. So I'm like,
that's
whoa,
crazy.
like, yeah, it was like for like 2 days straight, my phone was vibrating. I mean, I'm still getting notifications from it now. So it's like, it's just still like, wow, like it's really that big.
I can tell you this, that the next time like I'm out at a bar and a brawl is about to go down and like that involves me, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna get you on FaceTime, and I'm gonna be like, now we can brawl, motherfucker, because he's gonna narrate this thing.
Yeah,
because like
make it good.
It was like I was just thinking about it, and it's like your MMA or any of these like WWF, whatever it is. I'm like, entertainment is what we all want. That's why we do this show, right? And it's why. And I was like, man, this guy just has like. It's like placed right where it should be placed, and it's just hilarious. And you took a weird video of like, two dudes rolling around with each other and made it into this like almost like sketch. And I think that's like good for you, man. And you're gonna be the narrator for any fight for the rest of my life.
Hey man, thank you, man. That's what's up. I appreciate that.
Well, Darien, before we let you go, I want to thank you for entertaining me today. Like, I reached out to you and you got back to me and wanted to come on the show. I really appreciate that. I have one last question, because my favorite part of the video is when you excuse yourself to come up right next to me like, guys, I got to get my sandwich. That's all I want. And you're still filming them while you're paying the lady behind the counter. I got to know what kind of sandwich were you buying?
Oh, I was buying a club, man. Turkey.
The Turkey Fight Club. That should be Wawa should brand that shit. They should pay you and name it the Wawa Fighting Turkey Fight Club. That would
man. Wawa should reach out to me.
Yeah, this is a branding opportunity for them.
Yeah,
that they're missing out on.
Yeah, man.
Well, speaking of, do you smoke cigars or drink coffee?
Listen, the craziest thing that you guys even like reached out to me is that my dad this is literally like his entire life is cigars and coffee. Like And it's
We
not
got
even
your
like
Christmas. We got your Christmas all worked out now.
Oh man, that'd be awesome,
Hey,
man.
DM Brandon your address, and we're gonna send you some care packages, man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
I appreciate
Thanks for
that.
coming on the show, man.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
That was crazy.
And you're welcome, world.
I had not seen that, and I'm really happy I did right now.
Dear Sebastian, I'll send you the link to the whole video because it's about like three and a half. It's like 3.5 minutes. It is, and it doesn't stop being funny.
No,
it in fact gets funnier as we go. But I'm gonna jump out of this, let you guys get back to our regularly scheduled program, and that was a fun little detour.
That was.
Yeah.
This is always an interesting show. Always interesting.
there's like an agenda, and then there's whatever happens. And I think it's so funny that like Brandon hit us up today, and he was like, you know, that video we watched last week. He's like, I reached out to him, and he's gonna come on for the fresh shit segment. And I was like, wait, are you kidding? That's amazing. So
That
like,
was really good.
I mean, like, you know, this is the coolest show.
Yeah,
all the cool
coolest
kids
show.
are here.
Sebastian, I have a question for you that we ask everybody when they come on the show.
Unless they actually don't smoke cigars. No, we ask them in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sims, we're getting there.
Simmer down, hot stuff.
So, what was the thing that got you into the business of making cigars or loving cigars? And this is going to lead me to a lot of other questions. But initially, my question for you is like, what did you smoke like one cigar with your grandfather or father or uncle or whatever? And you were just like had this aha moment that was just something like, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
That's a tough question, but no, actually, I discovered my grandfather had smoked cigars from time to time, but years after I started smoking. So in between, basically, I started smoking alone just by interest. I don't know what happened. Honestly, it just popped one day. I said, "Hey, looks, cigars look pretty interesting," and had nobody around me smoking. Family was not smoking, so I had nothing to relate to. So basically, it was just that something just sparked somewhere, and I said, "Why don't I? That world looks interesting. Why don't I look into it?" And I basically just popped into. I was born in Switzerland, raised in Geneva, so I just popped into the Davidoff store in Geneva, which was the most logical step. Being in Geneva, I grabbed a cigar and say, "Hey, I'll see what happens. Do I like it or not? We'll see."
Was that Dominican Geneva or Dominican Davidoff or Cuban Davidoff?
Yeah, no, it was from the classics. The Cubans appeared quite a bit later for me because, of course, they're extremely rare and hard to find nowadays, right? But yeah, no, that came way later. It was one of the classics. I think it was a number 1 or number 2 or something like this, and. Yeah, I really don't know. I just entered there, got that first cigar from them, got a nice experience in the shop, a nice service. I was nearly 10 years ago now, and it just clicked. I don't know. I just went back and said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy more cigars," and just one thing after another got together.
So Sebastian, was there like, because it's interesting because like it wasn't modeled or it wasn't like your peer group or your bros. So like, what was it that even interested you like in like, I want to go smoke a cigar? Because like a lot of like I was alone in my cigar smoking with all my friends for years before they joined in. They all ended up coming to the dark side, but I mean like there was like this moment or a couple year period where I was the only one smoking cigars, and like, but like it was like love at first sight. When I smoked my first cigar, I was like, oh, I'm in. But I had it modeled from my uncles, like on holidays. So it was like some kind of nostalgia thing for me that I wanted to try. Like what was it that you were just like, I want to smoke? Because you're not you're younger. Like, how old are you?
No, 29.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what was it that, like, intrigued you into even wanting to try a cigar?
And I feel like I'm 29, but with Alzheimer or something like this, because I can't remember anything. No, basically, I really don't know. You know, what you said is pretty funny, because I really didn't have anybody, and for quite a bit of time, for the first probably year and a half or so, I've been smoking alone, right? It was just my little thing during the day, where I was sitting down and thinking about whatever I was going to do with my life when I was 20 years old, right? And which was amazing. But I don't know. I don't know if it was the aesthetic, if it was. I really can't even remember what sparked that thing. I've always, early on, like drinking wines and stuff like this, but without the knowledge. And I think it's, things. If people don't see it yet, I like eating. I'm a little round, so I became round. So I don't know.
Are you that guy? Are you that guy in the video?
No, Sebastian.
Which one? Which one?
Right. I'm the one with his ass hanging out.
Not there yet. Not there yet.
I don't mean to ruin the flow. I don't mean to interrupt the flow of the show, but Sebastian, I didn't have any inspiration to smoke cigars as a kid. Like, nothing around me, nobody in my life smoked cigars, but I did love basketball. And I just finished watching the Michael Jordan 10-part documentary today, all 10 episodes on Netflix. And I'll tell you what, there's no more greater advertisement for smoking cigars than watching that documentary. They are smoking cigars fucking constantly. And I watched basketball constantly, and I think subliminally, I must have seen that shit, and like it just infiltrated my mind. So then later in my life, cigars, I was like, oh yeah, that seems sexy. Like, that seems cool. Like, I want to smoke cigars. I want to try it out. For some of us, like me, maybe like you, it just popped up. It wasn't like a thing that somebody handed me, or, I kind of found my own way to it.
Well, and there was a great, a gigantic, in the U.S. anyways, cigar boom during that time. And I think maybe a lot of us kind of got into that culture of, James Bond, Michael Jordan, blah, 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 through that avenue, maybe.
Might be. I feel like, well, there was one thing when I started working fairly young, and it was indirectly related to another part of the tobacco industry, which I know sparked interest in the tobacco itself, but it was not related to cigars, because they had nothing to do really with cigars. So it might just have been interest growing from, that's something interesting in general as a subject, and maybe you laid a little bit, pushed it a little bit that way. Might also be in those subliminal images, what the things that you don't really realize that might be. And probably just that search for, the good life, enjoying nice things.
Yeah,
might have been simple things like that.
Oh boy.
Oh, you cut out. Well, but I'll say this, Sebastian. Yeah, I think there's something, and I do think it probably pulls into the subconscious, because like I grew up. I wasn't a sports guy, so like all the guys in the mainstream, your Mike, Ditka and Michael Jordan, or all these different guys that were huge, that smoked cigars. Like, I never saw them because I wasn't like in sports. I was playing like rock and roll music, and cigars are definitely not rock and roll. But I think like subconsciously,
it should be rock and roll.
What's that?
I grew up with rock and roll.
Yeah.
It should be rock and roll. I grew up with that music too, and it should be.
It
should have
is. See, now at my age, it's more like rock and roll than ever, because I like when my band plays and then there's like 30 people outside of a venue smoking cigars. The venue always comes out and they're like, what the fuck is this? Because they're not used to it. And it's just like, but like we smoke cigars. This is what we do. Like, some guys ride bikes and, they're at the show, and some guys
smoke Marlboro Reds.
Right. But I think there is that like desire to be attached, at least for me. Like, I'm a guy that likes things that feel nostalgic, even if they're new to me. I like I like the feeling of warmth and memories, and that like listen, that's what music does for me. It's what like ambiance of like the way you set up your room, and cigars have always been that to me. Like they make me feel connected to something that I don't know, but like I just feel connected, and it's kind of a weird thing to explain to people, but it's true. Like I feel like I'm connected to something.
We got to do a shot, or Sims is going to go crazy.
She's just trying
it's
to
only
get
the second reminder, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Shot number 4.
So what are you drinking, Sebastian?
Vodka, actually, at the moment.
I thought you were having some aguardiente, some Honduran firewater.
The how do you call it? Guaro, Yuscaran, Tatascan, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, Tatiscan.
Yeah,
when I was
no,
I got so drunk on that when I was down at Christian's factory, man. Whew.
Oh my God, no. Oh yeah, I have some so bad memories of that thing. So I'm already sorry in advance for that little story, but I moved from Switzerland to Honduras when I was about 22 years old, and lived here for a while here at the moment. And everybody was telling me you have to try guaro. You have to try guaro. And I'm like, why? What? I mean, what is it about it that I have to try it? Oh, it's just an experience. Okay. And one person tells me it's amazing. It tastes like shit twice, but goes down and up again. I was like, oh my God. And believe me, this is true. And I think, Tony, you can vouch for it. I mean, the taste of that thing is horrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
And the next day is even worse.
It's
One
so
of the
bad.
worst things around.
Hey, that actually leads me to a question, Jeremy, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go.
So Switzerland, right? You have access to some of the greatest Cuban cigars on the market, right? Generally speaking. And I was talking to Jeremy and Brandon about this the other day. Being from there, like in Europe, there's not a big exposure to Dominican cigars except for Davidoff, really, or Nicaraguan cigars, and especially Honduran cigars, other than a couple of bigger brands in the U.S. So when you moved, so it's a kind of a two-part question. So you moved to Honduras for cigars, yes?
Yeah.
And then, so what got you on Honduras as a country to make cigars in? And two, the U.S. had been doing this kind of, I have my little brand La Barba, and Jeremy's got Caldwell, and we're very used to like the boutique kind of cigar culture in the U.S. And I'm not sure what it's like in Switzerland. Maybe you can kind of shed some light on that. But I mean, was it a culture shock for when you went to Honduras to kind of bring that tobacco back to Switzerland and start selling in Switzerland under that guise instead of Cuban tobacco, for that matter?
So, well, first of all, I got lost, but no.
Yeah, I know that's a big question.
I told you I have Alzheimer. You can't do those things. It's too long. No.
Just give me. Okay,
What's your name?
Yeah. What is your name?
Who are you guys again? What the hell am I doing here? Sorry, I'm gonna leave.
So
how did you get me on here? Sorry, go ahead.
Why Honduras and not Cuba? And
the first thing that happened, the reason why I got to Honduras was not by, to make it very simple, when I decided to leave Switzerland and just go, I just had in mind, I'm going to take a plane ticket and just going to go around until I'm done, and I'll see what I do after that, right? So I didn't know, it wasn't specifically Honduras that I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to, my first idea was Cuba and the DR, then Nicaragua, then Honduras. The thing that happened is I was planning the trip with someone, an agent basically, to help me figure out what airports to go to, and then the first night after the first airport, and then I was on my own. And I told him, yeah, I'd like to start with the DR or Cuba or something like this. And he told me, yeah, that's great, but it's hurricane season, so if I can give you an advice, go to the actual, continental part of it. I was like, oh, okay, well, that sounds good too. So where do I go? He said, well, why don't you go to Tegucigalpa first to Honduras? I said, yeah, sure, okay. That's about as much as I knew about Honduras, right, to that point. So I had no real idea. I just had that guy tell me that. I was like, yeah, cool, sure. Just book my flight and book me one night of hotel, and I figured this out. And I just landed here, and I ended up staying here for actually quite a bit of time. It's funny enough. I thought I was gonna spend a little bit, the same kind of amount of time between the countries and just go around and see. And when I arrived here after quite a bit of little issues, I ended up finally getting to Danlí, and I got stuck here. I stayed here. I mean, I got with amazing people. Had the opportunity to stay and actually learn. Work as a roller. Ponchero, rolero, empaque. So every single step, and work them actually. So I was like, oh shit, why the hell would I go anywhere else? And the only thing that I was doing is taking a plane and going to the DR to visit the DR, to go to Santiago, see people and see how, process is there. And then coming back, doing the same thing with Cuba, going to Nicaragua, going to Costa Rica, those kind of things. But I ended up really sticking here because I got that amazing opportunity of actually learning from A to Z everything. And that was, I think that really was the main thing that made the click for me with Honduras. It just became a second home for me.
So was that your intention? Was that when you went to these places, you might find a place, like you were going to go there to like study tobacco and learn about it? Or was it you were just kind of like, I want to go see the world, and then that happened as a byproduct of it?
No, it was specific to tobacco. I really wanted to learn. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it or if I was going to do anything with it, but I really wanted to learn about it because, smoking the final product, discovering the final products is one thing. Reading books is one, another thing, and whatever you can find on journalism around tobacco, whether it's, blogs, whether it's magazines or whatever it is one thing, but it's lacking a lot of precision, and I was starting to get really obsessed about tobacco, about cigars, and I figured out, see if I want to, get itch that's scratch that itch. Basically, I needed to go and do it. If I didn't do it, I knew it was going to be just the ongoing thing of wanting and never do it. So that was really it. That was why it was here, and that was why it was that trip happened, and why I actually stopped living in Europe at that time.
I was just listening to this podcast. I listened to this podcast called Broken Records, and it's with Rick Rubin, and like a famous producer, and he like does all the interviews people, artists and musicians and stuff. And I was listening to one today, and he asked a question to the artist, which made me think like, I'm so curious because the same question could be asked in our industry to a manufacturer. So like, I'm going to kind of redigest it because I think it's super interesting. But he was talking about song making and like when you write a song, the process in writing the song, and then when you're done with that and then you move on to the next one, is there a threshold? Like, does a song have to measure up to something, because a lot of times what you create, a lot of times, like I know as like a songwriter, my favorite things are typically everybody else's least favorite, and the thing they like is the one I'm like, wait, what? That one? Where I'm like, oh, it was all right. It was good. I wrote it. But like, as a cigar manufacturer, and this could, I'll send this to Tony too. Like when you're creating the next blend, is it something that, are you trying to top what you did, or is it I'm trying to make a different expression from before? Like, what's the thought process in outside of like the financial aspect and like, you know, it's going to sell and this and that, but like, what's the thought process behind the next release, you know? And you just released one, so that'd be a cool.
I'll let
I
Sebastian
love
go
this
first if he
sign.
wants.
That's fine. In my case, as far as I'm concerned, our process, it's not a question of, you know, it's not just one thing, and it's not a focus that say just, oh, I need to best what I did before. It's more of what has been influencing what you know has been influencing my way of looking at tobacco. What has been things that have been intriguing me, and what can I do and learn from it to create something that I've not been through. It's the creative process. Get to the point where it's like, you know, for me, it's a little bit like you would give paint to a painter and a blank canvas and say, you know, express yourself. And that's really it. It's that ability of saying, something has been bugging me about XYZ tobacco, and I've you know, smoked it in other blends. I've heard about it. I've seen it, but how would it behave if I try to express myself through it? Basically, you know, it's really that kind of. And I think it's our world, and that concerns the three of us here and a lot of other people in the industry, especially on the boutique side. I think is a lot of us express ourselves, and you guys are a great example also of the artistic way, also just visually, you know, the bands and everything, the whole artwork, the whole stories and everything. But not only that, the tobacco itself is and must be considered to me as an art. It's something that if you don't have that thing bugging you, and if you don't have that, oh, what can I do with this? You know, what can I do with this new color, basically on my painting, then it gets boring and you don't do it the right. I mean, for me, I couldn't be doing it the right way if I didn't have that, you know, artistic thing. And I really think you guys are an amazing example of that too.
Well, thanks. I actually think, Tony, let me interject this little comment, and then I'd like to hear yours too. But I actually think that like this speaks volumes to like what our industry is about at this point, because there are many cigars on the mainstream platform that you smoke and you've been there and done that, right? It's like hearing the same pop song you've heard 100 times. It's palatable. It does what it's supposed to do. It's the right price. And so, you know, there's a consumer for it. What I love about the boutique realm is like, when it's like, what can I create? What's my version of using these ingredients to create something that represents me personally, or what I want people? It's an extension of ourselves. And it doesn't mean that everything that the boutique realm is far superior than what is made on the general market by like your bigger companies. But like, I do believe that there's more, it's more intentional, you know, like, I mean, you're putting money behind something that when it releases, if it tanks, could have a negative impact on the future of your business, where, so there's a risk in every move. But that's what I think it excites me so much about the boutique realm, is that it's like, oh, this is Sebastian's take on, you know, with this Cavalier. This is the way he sees like tobacco and what he wants to communicate. And this is what Tony wants to communicate with the new La Barba, or, you know, Nick with Giolito with like Foundation. And it's like, I smoke cigars all the time that I don't necessarily go back to, but I want to know what people are thinking. Like, what was their thought process in making this cigar? And the way I do that is by smoking it, you know, and you see how it resonates with your own like palate. And it's just cool to hear your response, because it like so much coincides with my feelings on like why this end of the industry is growing so much. And where 10 years ago we took up 5% of a store, and now there are many stores across the US that are entirely focused on brands of our size or maybe a little bigger, and they sprinkle in, like, the table's flipped, you know, like I don't know. I appreciate it.
Still a drop, but I think it's definitely part of it. Sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's kind of, it reminds me, you know, the cigar business is kind of relatable to the wine and beer industry, right? So my take on things is, you know, I like Budweiser. I like the beer and I like Miller High Life, right? And these are things that are easily attainable to me. And if I go into a bar that doesn't have craft beer, I'll order a Budweiser or a Miller High Life. And I think that cigars are the same way, where this is my first point in that there's a lot of cigars that are great and you know they're going to be great every time. And if you don't have a choice, then, you know, maybe you choose a big market cigar because there's still a lot of great ones out there. And my second point is when, and I'm going to humble brag again, Brandon. So when I did the wine school thing, there's no bad cigars unless they're actually bad. So like with wine, unless a wine has a fault, right? So if it's oxidized or there's a bacterial infection in it, that's a bad wine. And to me, there's no bad cigars. Like I would never call a cigar bad, right? Brandon, stop it with the giant things. But there really isn't. And everybody's cigar is good, and everybody's cigar is an expression of what they are, unless it's technically a bad cigar, unless it's plugged or there's a number of things that could go wrong with a handmade product. So with that in mind, there not being a bad cigar, I think that leaves us open to expression, because we're dealing all three of us are dealing with great tobaccos, great manufacturers, and great palates. And I think that it is an experiment in creativity where we are just trying to express ourselves through the tobacco. So that's why I like the adventure of smoking, because I smoke Cavalier cigars and I think about what Sebastien was thinking about when he made the cigars, or I smoke Caldwell cigars, or I smoke Illusione, or like any of my friends' stuff.
If I may interject, I was probably thinking about Jeremy naked running around something.
That is the most amazing thing.
Pretty disturbing, right?
Right.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it 500 times.
Sorry. I absolutely, I just had to cut you there. I'm so sorry about that.
No, I was getting on a passion tangent, which I couldn't.
So he seems a little butthurt. He's like, I was telling you, pouring out my heart, and you're talking about Jeremy naked.
But I love seeing Jeremy naked. So now that Glenn,
I love being naked.
I didn't even know Glenn watched the show.
Glenn does. Where is it?
He's trying to sell me your cigars.
Tony, do you need a price sheet?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, Glenn, send him one.
Thanks, Glenn.
I actually do. I actually do.
I think we should take a shot.
Yes. And we have two other questions for you before we close out. Oh, I got to open sweater vodka.
How much are you going to keep the sweater?
That is amazing. Where the hell did you find that?
At the Giant Eagle in Warren, Ohio.
Shot number 5.
Boys.
Salute.
Okay, so last two questions. First one is, what's up with the gold?
Yeah, I had the same question. If someone can answer, that'd be pretty amazing. I still don't understand that gimmick there.
To me, it's kind of like Puff Daddy, like Bala. Even though you're not at all that. Like, it's like bling. You got your cigars got bling.
I like it. I'm gonna say it that way now. I think.
Yeah.
Can I take Jeremy's explanation there?
Yes. Instead of smoke gold, put some bling on your stick and smoke it. No,
that's
pun intended or whatever. or entirely intended. No, but one of the things that's interesting is that, I imagine, well, I'm answering for you,
Brandon. Yeah,
I should shut up. But it makes it distinguishable. You know what I mean? You always know what a Cavalier cigar is, right? So if it was a kind of gimmick, so to speak, it works. But if was there like another meaning behind it, or is it just like it was like aesthetics?
So, it's always so there was a little process behind it. And I think one person that opened, when before getting in, when I was learning about tobacco, being that young, I had absolutely no understanding of nothing, and I still don't have, but that, I like to think that it's worse even. No, the thing was, I had worked for a couple of companies, but I've never thought about why things were the way they were, right? And I think one person that opened my eyes to that very early on was Oscar here in when I was living here in Danlí, right? I got to know Oscar a long time ago, and I think when I saw his cigars the first time, the Leaf at the time, I was like, oh shit, this is fucking, brilliant. Whether you like it or not, it's just fucking brilliant. Why? Because once you've seen it, you can't just forget it. It's impossible. You can forget Red Band, you look at that Partagas band, you can forget it 300,000 times if you want, because there are so many red bands. There are so many, it's that question of what makes you visually different from someone else, right? And you go in a shop, and Tony, you're in a very good position to know that, right? You're gonna have so many different products there, and you're gonna have. I've myself owned a shop in Switzerland a while back. There's family from the family now, and we've been comforted to this a lot. And it's always, oh, I came, 2 weeks ago, you made me try that cigar. It had that blue band, and you have 50% chance that that blue band was actually a red band. So you're actually already in a bad position. And the other thing is, you serve so many customers that, okay, amazing. Do you have any more information on that? And the guy's like, no, but it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So basically, the thought process when I saw that cigar was like, oh shit, that is an expression of how he sees cigars and how he sees the market and what he sees there. And we started without the gold, and the brand was growing at the time, but I was like, okay, that's great, but what do we actually bring? Yeah, we bring our own blends. Yeah, amazing. Everybody does. What more? Where is it? What is the intention behind it and everything? And everything we do has an actual importance because of the person behind it more than anything else. And the first logo, the horse and a man, was from a painter and tattoo artist from here, Danlí, that designed it, and then passed away. And he was a really close friend, so we decided to take him on the way with us. And then and he was helping on all the designs. And when he died, my wife, actually, Aileen, comes out of art studies and everything, and she's from Danlí here too in Honduras. And she took over the whole, aesthetics of the brand, as her job, if you want. And she started cleaning up the boxes. She wanted to modernize a little bit what we were doing. And we had that thought process since I had seen that Oscar. I was like, we need to do something. We need to bring something more. But what? It was coming, and we couldn't find anything. And we had those white, the white label, those cabinet white boxes were covered with kind of a clothing gold pattern of gold diamonds. And Aileen was cleaning that up, and when the new design, the new design is already a couple of years old. It's way more modern, has no diamonds on it except on the top of the box, the lid. And she said, hey, I have it. I was like, what are you talking about? And we always use that gold in all our bands, in all our design. We have a lot of that gold coming back and back and back. And she was like, we're going to put gold on the cigars. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, I was like, oh my God, no. We're not blending cigars to put gold and have, burn issues and affecting the flavor profile. We're not doing, we're not caring about tobacco to do that to it. That's not my approach. Kudos to everybody that does it, that wants to do it or likes it, or that's just not my thing. She said, no, you don't understand. Why don't we use the gold diamond as a symbol and as a secondary band? A symbol is easier to recognize. It's easier to remember. It's easier to talk about. It's easier to, and it's already part of what we do. So I'm just cleaning it up on the box. And why don't we slap it as a band on the cigar? I was like, oh shit, that actually works, and it fits a little bit. My wife and I, we were a little bit bipolar in the way we are. We're tattooed basically everywhere. We might be dressing like living in the street some days, and at the same time we're like,
amen to
some
that. Living in the streets.
So it's a kind of it's a kind of mix.
To kind of mirror you, I mean, when I was creating my brand, myself, I wanted something to be iconic, right? Like you said, and I think that's very important. And I was trying to think of, I was taking the path of people don't really pay that much attention to what they're doing. And it's not like a knock on people. It's more like they're doing so much stuff during a normal day. And as a retailer, I was saying, so many people come in and they're like, I smoked this cigar the other day. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what the name of it is. Can you help me? And when I started La Barba, the reason for the straight razor ultimately was, I don't know what the brand is, but I know it has a straight razor on it. And that was kind of mirrors sort of what you guys were talking about as far as icons, right? So being an iconic brand, for example, Davidoff. I don't know, everybody knows what Davidoff is without even having to know what Davidoff is, but there's a lot of brands out there that are my husband smoked a cigar and it had a red band and an M on it. And you're like, okay, there's 999,000 of those. But when somebody comes in and they say, what's the cigar with the gold diamond? Or somebody comes in and says, what's the cigar with the straight razor? Or in Caldwell's case, what's the cigar with the fucked up name, with the fucked up art? You know what I mean?
That's one thing. That's one thing with Caldwell, that art, in your case, La Barba is very much that same process, because you have always that razor on it. So as you said, that's that icon that is easy. It's there. You might not get the exact one, but it's the same brand. So you got back to what you were looking for. So that's, and in as you said, Caldwell's part, it's that artwork. Even though the artwork is changing, it's just iconic. It's something that it's
very
Caldwell,
distinctive. Yeah, it's very distinctive.
And every brand would have to, in my opinion, find that thing that represents what makes that brand, what makes it Caldwell, what makes it La Barba, what makes it Foundation, what is that thing that makes the brand what it is and why people know it, or remember it.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, a question I wanted to ask is, you and Tony made kind of a similar move over the past couple of years in different ways. So Tony had his brand and he was self-distributing and doing La Barba cigars. And then was it 15 or 16? 16 or 17? I don't remember.
14 into 15.
No, so at a certain point, we took on, because we were friends, we were already doing stuff together. He gave and had the manufacturing and distribution for Caldwell, which is now Down and Back, is the umbrella that manufactures and distributes these different brands. And I know why Tony did it, right? But I thought it'd be cool to hear, because in July, you made kind of a big move. And I was wondering if you could explain kind of like what your thought process is, why you decided to go over to Illusione in that way and make that partnership with them.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good, pretty tricky question. But basically, there is one. I think there is one key aspect in this industry. First of all, it's a question of relationships, right? This industry is relationships at every single level of it, from the seed to the actual smoking of the cigar. It's all about that. So the main thing that started happening, we started getting closer when we decided to move from Switzerland to the US with my wife, with Aileen. We started to get closer again to all of you guys, right? Because in Europe, we're kind of isolated of everybody. We see each other from time to time, but it's very little. So moving here made things, go back to a more productive relationship building basically process, where we have more opportunities to time to share thought processes together. And that's something that people might not always know, but that's something I find fascinating, is that between us, how many times do we call someone that should be considered competitor, right? But to actually share, okay, that's my thought process. What do you think about it? Hey, how could we do things? What do you think? How could we do that better? What do you guys do about this? Do you want to do something together? It's a lot more of a collaboration thing on a daily basis than an actual competition thing. Even though we're basically, trying to get in the same shops and everything and gain market shares and grow, but we play together. Most of this industry plays together, and I think that's one thing to note. So we started getting closer to a lot of people again, and including some people at Illusione. And I had always been very, it's a brand that kind of, I always had a lot of respect for that brand. It's a fairly older brand than we are. We're really young next to it, and the opportunity, we had a warehouse that we worked with it in Texas, close to where we were. It was convenient, but we felt like it was time, to go to the next step. And we were discussing with a couple of people, and that discussion popped up in one of those, hey, what would you do? What do you recommend, with Brian at Illusione? And Brian told me, hey, what about you come with us? What about you just move your stuff to our warehouse? We just need a little time because we're changing a couple of things, and just come. And I was like, shit, you're thinking about how can we do things better. And one of the brands that you've been looking at, saying that's really something that I admire in terms of tobacco, playing around with how they work with tobacco and the whole image and the respect I had for them. And those people just offered that kind of working together situation. And I said, you know what, that's something that we should not pass on. And why don't we look at how we can help build together, and not only in the US, but then, try to see a little further internationally. And it works out, on their side. Hey, we have that guy there. Do you have someone? No, I don't have anybody. Okay, let me put you in contact. On our side, hey, Brian, you guys have someone there? Oh no, we don't. Okay, let me put you in contact with those guys. So it's a kind of, that kind of thought process. How can we grow together with respect and everything? And the best way, I think, to do it is to unite brands under, that same umbrella. And it's something that is existing, but I think could be pushed way further, because we help each other, we talk together. But I love the idea of, hey, why don't we try to physically do something, stick together and build up something together. I thought it was an amazing idea that they brought to the table, and we immediately looked into it and moved as soon as we could.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a gang behind the scenes, and so many consumers don't realize how much of a network we have become for each other. And not network, but more support. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're all eating from the same pie, but what's good for us is good for you. What's good for you is good for us. And the friendships that we've been able to cultivate, it's like springboards, and like the fact that like in other industries there would be a drastic, like you don't talk trade secrets, and I get it, but like, you know, like we're not discussing when we have conversations, like we're not exchanging blend information, but we're talking about marketing and how to help each other. And like I'm smoking a Cavalier cigar while I'm sitting in a shop because everybody knows I work with Caldwell and La Barba, so why do I need to smoke a Caldwell and La Barba? Why not smoke a Buddy's cigar, you know, or an Illusione or a Foundation, or like, you know, go down the list. And it's one of my favorite aspects of the industry that like I wish customers almost got to like see, is that like there's a camaraderie that has birthed between like some of these companies, and it's growing. And it's like, we can't take over a retail shop and dominate an entire humidor. We don't have enough SKUs. And even if we did, no one's going to buy it, every single SKU. And you don't have enough independently, but all of us collectively have the ability to really take a presence and like be. And the cool thing is so many of our cigars, like they all speak their own language, right? Like a Caldwell cigar does not taste necessarily like a Cavalier. A Cavalier does not taste like a La Barba. A La Barba does not taste like a Foundation. It might be the same guy, but that guy wants 7 different meals a week. So he's going to want different types of cigars. And so it's the same dude, but like it's good for all of us, you know? And that's something I love about like especially with this show, what we've been able to do is like have our friends on to like show people like, this is not a down and back, a La Barba and a Caldwell marketing ploy. Like it's Tony and me, because we're extremely close friends and we love hanging out and we love drinking and we love bringing our friends on and promoting them and hanging with them. It's exactly what we would be doing if we were out on the road.
It's exactly where, you know, it's just the exact thoughts I had when we were talking there. I was like, this is what you guys build here is an amazing example of that people can actually see and might, you know, it's probably one of the little aspects that people can see in terms of those relationships that are behind the scenes, basically. It would be amazing for people to see it more. Actually. It would be amazing.
I agree.
I really think so, because it brings positiveness to the entire industry.
I think it needs to happen more, and I think we're doing a good job between, you know, our company and you and Illusione and Foundation of building a very solid base of guys that are kind of ushering in the next generation of cigar manufacturers, and I would like to keep that. Will Marks, this is
well, on that note,
that is probably one of the best comments of the night.
I agree.
Will Marks is always coming with the heat.
Yeah, he is.
On that note, we're gonna do our drawing for the Youngstown Coffee prize pack giveaway. So before we do the drawing here, I just want everybody to know that we have been collecting your shares of the stream during the show, and we have been kind of just aggregating them, and this is what we came up with. Look at that. That's some high-tech goodness right there. If you look carefully, there's a few people's name.
If Jared Saunders wins my coffee, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Just letting you know.
So I hope that if you are in the chat right now, you see your name. If it appears not as many times as you think so, I don't know what to tell you. I combed through the analytics to try to find who had shared the stream. So I'm going to spin the wheel here. And if it lands on your name and you are in the chat, you just need to type in any kind of comment. You can say anything, and we will confirm that, and I'll get with you over Facebook, and you'll get your prize. So here we go. The first 4 shots. Maisha, you're on there. Look, Maisha, it is on your name. That's a good sign, I think. So here we go. Let's try this. Up.
It's a slow-moving wheel.
Oh my God! Is it Will Marx's? No,
I don't know.
No way! Get
No way.
Out of here.
Is he still even watching this?
We need another comment like that.
I know,
think.
Will. That's just not even fair. That's not even fair. If he was the one who oh my gosh, it came down between Joe Sharmer and Will Marx's. I feel like that's not even right. Not even right. Will, are you there?
You still here?
You got 5 seconds. You got 5 seconds. I'm going to count down.
Will is always here.
I know, but if he doesn't comment in the chat, I can't confirm that he has won. We got 5, 4.
He's probably making money right now.
3, 2. Marxist, you're about to lose it. 1.
No way.
He's out. He was just here. He must have got up to take a shit or something. Will, I'm sorry.
We hang out all the time and do like Zooms, and he'll be making deals and making money while we're smoking.
Well, listen, we're gonna re-roll it.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is.
Is it too late?
Is it too late?
Is it too late?
Is it too late?
Nah, Will's got it.
Well, Maisha says bye-bye. She says it's over.
Maisha, don't go.
My
Okay, since I maybe own the company, I can do another one.
I will do a second spin.
So let's do another one.
Oh, this is
your gold though. You got it.
But you got to get rid of Marxist because
I did. I got Marxist. I got Marxist out of there. All right, here we go. We'll run it. Where are we at? Tyler D. Jeffrey. Tyler D. Jeffrey. Are you in the chat tonight? I have not seen any comments from Tyler D. Jeffrey in the chat tonight. Oh my God.
Give him the countdown.
Spin. Maisha is just wanting more spin. She's like, I gotta get on this. I gotta get the win.
Maisha's like, you out.
All right. All right.
Okay. Sorry, Tyler. You're not in the chat.
Tyler. Okay. There's a delay. James Rossi, whose name appears on here multiple times, says that there's a delay, and I didn't think about there being a delay, and that we're doing it live. Glenn wants another spin. Glenn's been very active.
I feel like
I know Glenn's not even on it. All right, we'll do one more, right, and then that's it. One more. Here we go. One more.
This
Our
is
magical.
exciting.
This is exciting. It's like we're playing a game with Tony's money.
Dude, I want a free taco at
the Daily Ash.
Oh.
I don't think the Daily Ash is. They had shared one of our posts.
They share all of our posts.
Yeah,
but I don't think like who from the Instagram. I actually don't know who's behind the account.
I don't either. I just put it on there because they had shared it.
Brandon, pull up the wheel again.
Pull up the wheel.
Okay. So Maisha,
take everybody's name off of Maisha's and then spin it. And then we'll see who wins.
So Maisha, Rossi, Jennifer, Saunders doesn't get shit. Sharmer, Christine, and Matt, DM us. You guys all get coffee.
Oh my gosh. Let's give an applause.
I will say that will not be how it goes for every one of our promotions.
No, we can't do that.
That was fun, right? It was like
it is fun.
Like you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
You get a car. It was like the Oprah show.
Jeremy was talking. Oh, I feel like Jeremy was talking about tacos. I want to know more about that.
Oh yeah, man. Yesterday I went to Rubio's, or 2 days ago, and I got it's a fish taco place. And I got my bag, and I pulled out, and there was a scratcher, and I was like, "What
did you do? You pulled out?"
I pulled out.
Again?
I don't need any more children. So I scratched it off, and it said free taco, and it didn't even say free taco with purchase of another taco. It just said free taco, and man, I felt like I was the king.
You got to scratch.
Redeemed it
That's
yet.
So California. California is making scratch offs for free tacos. Like Ohio's making scratch offs for like $1 million.
Yeah, and no one wins it in Ohio. But I want a free taco. Who wins?
Did you get it?
Who's the real winner?
No, I'm saving it for next time I go so I can get a taco.
So it looks like we've gone way over today, which is cool.
We've gone, but we had a lot of things happening.
Really good conversation.
We had a lot of things.
I think we should still do shoot your shot. Maybe if anybody wants to come on.
I didn't reach out to anybody for shoot your shot because we kind of had a shoot your shot with Darien coming on earlier. He was our surprise guest and who was awesome. That was really wonderful to have him jump in with us like that. Oh, I'm getting the DMs. The DMs are coming, and I'll be sending everybody a lump of coal. That's what's going to be happening with the Youngstown coffee sticker right on it. You get that lump of coal.
Dude, you need to make your Christmas blend called lump of coal.
Oh, I do. That's a very good idea. Thank you for making me a lot of money.
And it's a dark roast.
Yeah. Thank you for making me a lot of money. I won't give you any.
Guess what I have that you don't have? A free fucking taco.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but it's a fish taco, so it counts like half a taco or something. Like
no, man.
Jeremy, you never
do a beer battered
coffee, by the way, because I can send you coffee.
A beer battered, and it's a full fillet that they shove into a street taco. So the fish it's good.
So what do you want to do, Brandon? You want to go straight for after party?
I'm thinking
shot.
Let's do a shot, and then let's talk about where we can find each other.
Yeah,
and then we'll go to the after.
It's just we're not used to being here at an hour and a half, and everybody's in full screen mode. It's pretty wild.
Shot number 6.
Salute to Sebastien Cavalier Cigars for joining us tonight.
Cheers.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be on.
Thank you for making the extra effort. I mean, having to run to a random location to get Wi-Fi. I mean, that's going the extra mile.
It was. I have to say, it was a little stressful because this shit literally happened. So I go to that coffee place. I plug in my phone to start. I do a last phone call I had to do for work. I plug my phone in, saying, if I don't plug it in, this shit's gonna, shut down in the first 5 minutes of the show. And ask for a coffee. It's a French place here with amazing coffee, by the way. And I asked for a last coffee before they closed. They accepted to leave the lights on for me to be there with the Wi-Fi and everything in the meantime before, even though they were not open anymore. I take the coffee, I go outside, I just sit on the chair, and boom, black. I was like, oh my God, this is not possible. But
we got a good question here from Maisha. She is part of the Sisterhood of the Leaf. She was a guest on our third episode. She wants to know, she's looking for Cavalier Cigars in LA, where to buy.
So right now, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was actually trying to think of where I could suggest too, but you would obviously know better than I would because
come on,
your company. I'm a retard guy.
One difficult thing for me is always every time I get that question, I'm like, oh shit, where are the cigars? And then when I start looking, I was like, oh yeah, friend. Glenn says we don't do LA.
Man, you're missing out on Maisha's dollar.
But you know what, Glenn? You get really close to it. I feel like you're at 75% of the US more or less or something like this at the moment.
By the way, Glenn, stop brawling around at the Wawa at 2 a.m.
I don't know if he was in the chat for that. I don't know.
We'll go look it up.
See, to answer the question, we've had a way too long time of back order, so we're getting everybody's cigars back now. The safest right now in the area that wouldn't be too far, that are very practical, would be small batch, I think, in Orange. That would be shipping quite easily, and we're going to get everybody back on track also in the area of LA and everything. But right now, I think the safest would be small batch until we get everybody cigars again.
So, Maisha, when you come down, we need to set up our smoker that we talked about. You come into the warehouse. We stop over at Maximar's. We get some Cavalier, amongst other things. We get some whiskey.
That's the sisterhood. The Sisterhood of the Leaf.
Oh,
right there.
And we'll smoke.
Definitely too, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
So where can we find you on social media?
Right now. I was
Right.
gonna say Dan. I was gonna say Dan Lee, but well, if there is light, if there's no light, I can't guarantee anything. But social media, so Instagram is Cavalier CAVALIER _cigars CIGGARS. I never know. And Facebook would be Cavalier Geneve Premium Cigars. That's on Facebook for the Instagram, and then those are the two main handles to be found to find the brand. And then Google, of course, a website, which would be same thing. I never know how to say it. Not the underscore, the little minus sign, the Cavalier minus
Dash.
Cigars.
Yeah.
Dash. See, that's my lack of English practice right now. Cavalier-cigars.com would be the website.
The dash is very important to the English language. It's how we combine words that don't belong together, and we just smash them up.
Brandon, stop it.
Stop it. This isn't the literature.
Stop with your poetry things.
The literature podcast.
No one wants to hear you. All right, you can find me at the California Hillbilly on Instagram, and that's it because I'm not on any other platform. That was easy.
Tony,
I've been looking for you on Facebook again, and I always forget you're not on there. I can't find you anyway.
No,
You're
I think
hidden.
Facebook kicked Jeremy off permanently. I think he's the only one that has a life sentence on Facebook.
You may not enter.
You guys can find me at La Barba Cigars, Bellato, Youngstown Coffee, Lost and Found Cigar Company,
Viva La Vida,
blah blah blah, Humble Brag,
Havana House,
Brandon.
You can change Bellato to Humble Brag Bellato.
I should.
Nah,
the thing with Bellato is I feel like anything you would type on Google or anywhere, I think you're going to get a result from Bellato anyway.
Well, thank you, Sebastian.
Either him or a hitman.
Or one and the same.
James.
You never know.
Yes. Last week, I wasn't there. I ended up having I host an own thing, and then I got caught up on a work call, and then it like disappeared from me. Yes, Friday morning. That's right. Join me if you follow on Instagram. You can go to the Zoom, grab the Zoom number, come and hang out for an hour, whatever you have, and smoke cigars. We just hang out and chill.
Great friendship. Just amazing.
Who wants to hang out in the after party, by the way?
Yeah, we may do some after party business here. But for now, I just want to say that if you are listening to us and you're not listening to us live, you can subscribe on Podbean or Spotify or iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to this episode as just a restream while you're driving in your car or you're at work. You can catch us there if you cannot watch us live, but that happens every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And we got some really fun stuff coming up for the holidays. We got a pajama party coming down the line. We got some Secret Santa nonsense about to happen. You don't want to miss the Christmas episodes while you're going to be quarantined away with not going to see your family over COVID. You can hang out with us.
You probably have COVID. If you're hanging out in the shop, you probably have it. So hang out.
You don't know it.
Yeah, you're probably asymptomatic. So just chill with us and smoke.
Yeah.
If I was quarantined, I wouldn't want to see you motherfuckers. I'll tell you that.
What if you got quarantined with me, Tony? Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my god!
I could.
As long as you made me a sandwich every day, I'd be fine.
A turkey sandwich,
turkey
club,
an up top
club,
the up top chicken box.
Yeah, man, and thanks Damien for joining us.
Yeah, Darien.
Sorry, my bad.
I know. I introduced him as Damien. I messed it up. But yeah, Darien Rollins. We got to thank him again for coming on. You guys can find him. His Twitter handle is at D0 LLARS.
He's like the most amazing person I've ever met in my life.
And he's got a podcast coming out, the Roadrunners Pod, which we might guest on someday. I don't know. But Sebastien tried to discourage him from us coming on his show. I don't know why Sebastien would do that to us.
He knows what's right.
It wasn't too much about all you guys, but I didn't want to specify too much. I'm kind of worried about Jeremy running around naked again. That's the only reason. But
Hey, he's obviously
It's gonna
used
happen.
to nakedness.
Don't be worried.
He's used to overweight white guys getting naked.
Don't make his neck.
No, you're
viral.
right. I should actually have like encourage, like told him to take you on every show. Could have some good surprises. I'm sorry about that. I messed up.
That's a missed opportunity. It's a serious missed opportunity.
So if you hear us, I'll take it back.
So
definitely get those guys on.
we want to thank everybody for listening. If you have not DM'd me your address, I cannot ship you coffee. So if you want the Youngstown coffee and you want it, baby, trust me, you got to DM me your address. So
Slide
you can
those DMs.
Slide into my DMs and we'll get you some coffee. Sims, this disqualifies you. I don't know why. I just say it does. And I make the rules. Guys,
I missed her.
Charmer,
I missed the
we wanted to get Zach, but we had another. Zach's in our waiting room.
Yeah, Zach's
So
over here. Here he is. Look, he's always here. He's here.
Always.
Hey,
How are you doing?
he's always there.
How about when we don't bring you on and then you come on and it actually works perfectly when you aren't going to be like checking with Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I figure the one time you check in with me in season 2 will be when I don't show up.
Yeah, just an empty screen. Zach's not there.
I'll make sure to set it up still on my porch.
I watched you eat dinner tonight, which was very nice for me.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy that.
What did you eat? Now it just got me hungry.
Just a quick salad.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the after show.
After show. So,
all right,
Brandon, you gonna send the link out for after show?
Hit me up in the DMs. You know who you are that gets access to the after show.
Him and Will.
We got.
And I feel like in the after show, Jeremy might be doing a giveaway for like a
used
ticket
underwear.
for a free taco. Oh yeah, the used underwear too. But I was thinking about the free fish taco or something.
I'm never giving that fish taco thing away, man. I'm gonna you know what? That would be hilarious. Our next competition for 4 shots, I'm gonna give a free taco to Rubio's. You're gonna get a pre-scratched winner that's only redeemable in Lake Forest, California.
For Jeremy.
All right, guys.
I'll take you to dinner at Rubio's if you win.
You got to come here and fund you.
But you have to come to me.
And
you only get to get one taco.
Anything you want with this coupon, you win.
One taco.
One taco.
That's all you get. Good night, guys. We'll see you here next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.